Hi, I'm Chris Majolo.
And I'm Brad Jones. And this is Billy. Chris and I are students. We're also educators and storytellers. Billy? Well, Billy's a goat. We've spent the last several years working alongside winemakers, cheesemakers, craft brewers, and small-scale farmers. In the hands of these individuals, things are changing in America. And the changes are delicious.
People, lawyers, businessmen, teachers, they've started returning to the land. They're farming again, brewing, making wine, cheese, traditional breads. It's an artisanal movement, a movement of culinary craftsmanship, and it's seeking to cure an ailing food system. The coolest part? It's happening across the country.
And I think in our case, we are farmstead, which means that all the milk comes from our own animals on our own farm, and that's in that sense the smallest scale. The artisanal then refers to sort of the nature of the production, not necessarily the source. So in our case, it's farmstead. In other cases, it might be from a few local dairies, say, or something. But I would say, certainly a smaller production with an emphasis on a more handmade quality, and along with that you have less standardization, more potential variance from. But obviously you want some quality control, some recognition. You want hooligan to taste like hooligan, but it's accepting that it's a natural product.
And as such, that's one of the ideas. The Enlightenment movement is a period in history where people say, we're not going to believe in superstitions, we're not going to just believe in what's written down, we're going to go figure it out, we're going to collect evidence, and we're going to draw our own conclusions. And that's a big part of what the brewery is. Another part of it is, people talk about the dark ages of beer, being before the craft beer movement, and then there's a craft beer renaissance, and that's the last 30 years, and I figure there's a whole other generation, which I'm a part of. What follows the Renaissance? We rediscover things, we rebirth, and then there's Enlightenment, and then there's all these techniques that have become familiar to us. Like when I started brewing, when I started drinking, I could go get a porter and a barley wine, and a Belgian triple, and a lambic, and a German dunkel, and get all those things. I never had to worry about it. When my boss started brewing, if we were able to get a Belgian beer, that would be really exciting. We are spoiled by this, and I think we have some responsibility that goes with it. We have access to all these different brewing styles, all these different flavors, all these different influences and cultural ideas. We should do something more than make the beers that the people who taught us how to make beer are making. Hence Enlightenment.
Regulations are because very few dairies start now, so you have to go through a lot of red tape, and you actually have to educate your health agent in terms of what is okay for a dairy to do. And our particular health agent didn't want to be educated and said, no, you cannot do it. And I've always had a bit of an issue with that word, no.
How do you want to tell me?
Thing. You're not telling me no. I want to do it, and I really, every time I wanted to give up, she would make another stride, and she would keep going, and I'm like, well, if she can live in spite of all of the odds being against her, I can do this dairy thing.
But we are a sign, we are a community, there's a lot of animals. And when you think about the overall community of the trees and the grass and everything that exists here, including us, there's a lot going on, so yeah, we are a true sign.
In that they get to hang out and enjoy their days watching the butterflies, and we work our asses off. And I've also often wondered that, we're doing this for them, and where's the trade-off?
It's a labor of love.
It is a labor of love.
Tocure is a labor of love. It's a food anthology, a place for telling and sharing stories and preserving knowledge. But we can't tell these stories without your help.
Chris and I have spent the last 2 years studying our nation's artisanal foodways from right here in New England. But now, we've contacted producers throughout the country. People are eager to share their stories, their knowledge, their very lives with those who are willing to listen. With your support, we're going to pack up the van and spend this summer traveling across the country, working with these producers and documenting their tales. The result, a food anthology, will be a collection of photos, recipes, videos, interviews, and memoirs, compiled into a series of vivid electronic journals.
There's healing in touch. There's strength and warmth and life present in things handmade. This is an epic all its own, and it deserves being told. On behalf of countless producers, and with special thanks to Cato Corner, Enlightenment Ales, and Song to Farm, we thank you in advance for your support. Without you, this project, and the voices of those it touches, would not be heard.